What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us for this special mini-series of the podcast where I'm checking in with local businesses to see how they're handling our new reality. Today, I'm joined by the talented Ramses Bugarin. Ramses is an owner and coach at Living Art Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a jiu-jitsu training facility located in Willowbrook. Welcome to the podcast, Ramses. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. How's it going?
It's going well so far. So we'll just dive right in. What is the biggest shift you've had to make? And I've been waiting to talk to you about this because I feel like gym owners are going to be some of the most hardest hit, I guess, right now.
Yeah. So we're fortunate that the circumstance of our situation, our overhead, the amenability of our landlord, our finances, that we are pretty sure will survive it. Mm-hmm. Our situation is okay right now. We're pretty certain we'll survive it, even if it's going to drag on for a long time, which we hope that's not the case. What a lot of people in our industry have been doing is they've been flooding the internet with their online content, free online content, live classes and sessions, which I find a little bit limited myself.
Yeah.
Just because there's only so much jiu-jitsu related stuff you can do without another person. The nature of what we do is we're teaching people how to choke each other and break each other's arms and stuff like that. So there's only so much you can do that,
right,
without a person or to a body bag or something like that. But being that this closure is going to be a lot longer than we initially anticipated, I have started to record more content and put that out, stuff that I feel I can get behind, stuff that I do on my own or would find benefit from doing on my own, or I'm using it as an opportunity to break down the minutia of certain positions or concepts that, if I'm leading a warm-up, like that video I posted the other day on Instagram, those set of videos, it might look easy and slow or something like that, but a lot of people that are beginner students, it won't be intuitive for them, and I'd have to take time to teach them the warm-up and, actually get them to do the moves accurately. And if I put that all on video and put it on the internet, if they're interested, they can break that down for themselves and learn it at home. And they probably are all enthusiastic about doing that because they can't get to the mat. And, what's cool about the jiu-jitsu community is the people that get bitten by the bug love it. They're all about it, and I didn't really realize that going into it. I knew that I would like to teach jiu-jitsu. I knew that I enjoyed doing it myself, but I sort of underappreciated how taken with it my students would be, or how much it would affect their lives in a relatively short amount of time of practice. Like Diego, you remember Diego? He says that he's had dreams and he's waking up and he's choking the pillow and stuff, or he's kicking his girlfriend or whatever, and he's gotten banished to the floor a couple of times. I hope I'm not outing him or something like that. I sort of had a little bit of a imposter syndrome at the start of this whole, pandemic thing, because like I said before we started recording, everybody started flooding the internet with videos, and it took me a while to appreciate and some input from my current students that they still want to hear from me. They still want to see that sort of stuff, and just to actually start recording it and doing it so that people can still scratch the itch when they're not able to get on the mat, and to tide them over until we can finally, start training again together. I started talking for a long time. I forgot.
No, that's good. So you addressed what the biggest shift was and then how you're addressing the shift, because so you're putting out that content for your community. And I think what's interesting about that too is someone like me who's never done jiu-jitsu, I even did the moves you posted the other day. I think just because, I'm getting tired of working out at home now, and I have my go-to resources, but it's nice to mix it up and to try something new. And it gets me out of my head too, doing something new for everyone, gets them out of their head and into their body. So I think that's been really great. And I think you're not alone in the imposter syndrome either. We are getting overwhelmed with online content, but your audience knows you and they trust you and they want to hear from you. So I think continuing to put it out, they have a choice of whether or not to do it. So I think that's great. So how is your community responding? Like, did you get any feedback on those videos or anything else?
What's good and bad about like the jiu-jitsu community is like anybody that's like an instructor or a teacher, they get all sorts of adulation, whether or not they deserve it. It probably is, applies to me as well. I did my best to, execute the movements well, explain them well and stuff like that. But I'm probably only going to get all positive feedback from my people because they're my people and they like me. And I've worked hard to gain that trust and gain their trust in me. But yeah, it's been positive. And that's nice to hear that you found it interesting because that's actually, obviously the audience I want to reach, people that have never done it before and that find it interesting and that I can make it accessible to them.
Exactly.
So that'll be my goal. That wasn't my goal initially, but that'll be a reaffirmed goal in the stuff that I make next, post next, and the explanations that I flesh out next. Yeah, it's been positive, and I think that this is good stimulation for me. Hopefully, it's good stimulation for my current students, and hopefully, it's good stimulation for anybody that's just passing through and finds it interesting and tries it out, which
it is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not to sell you or anything like that, but you are always welcome to come and try.
Yay! I know. Who knows what'll happen once we're free? Hopefully everyone will be out trying new things all the time because we couldn't for so long. Okay, so how are you taking care of yourself now that you can't roll on the mat like you used to before? I know you said you're doing a lot of pull-ups.
Oh, yeah. So that was the goal of mine I set when I started to get my act together, as I wanted to get much better at pull-ups. My girlfriend found a 35-pound kettlebell at a Walmart the other day. She got that for me. And that same day, one of the kettlebells I'd ordered came in, and it's a 75-pounder. So those have been keeping me stimulated finally. At least I have something to train like my legs and lower back with effectively.
Yeah.
Cleaned up my diet. I've been, I lost the quarantine weight that I gained at least. So that's good. And just trying to keep myself busy, keep myself in the mindset of ways that I can still improve my business coming out of this, ways that I can improve my business going into it.
So with that, how can we support you and your business right now?
That's a good question. I was thinking about it. And I guess I'm going to return it with another question for you, but I'll prelude it with a thought first. Since we don't know really how long this is going to last, I sort of had a fear that the market for future students would possibly be irreparably damaged because the nature of our sport is we are right on top of each other. If you didn't brush your teeth that morning, I'm going to know.
Oh, gosh.
So like and I don't know how much this COVID-19 is going to affect the, I guess the outlook on close contact things. I don't know if people it's going to be stigmatized forever, like being in large groups of people, being in wrestling sports. So you're saying stuff?
Yeah. So historically speaking, sports like wrestling and jiu-jitsu have survived all of the pandemics before this one. So I think that it may take time for it to come back, but it's still going to be there. People still have the need. And
what I was planning on doing, and I bounced this idea off of another gym owner friend. He's a strength coach, not jiu-jitsu, but he gave me this idea, and I think it's a good one. We'll see what you think. Is that he wanted to provide some value for the money that's been given to him or offered to him. So he was thinking about selling just a deeply discounted membership.
Yeah.
Like, paid in full, like 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and just to tide him over through the tough months. And I was going to flesh out the numbers today and, post it or send an email and also post it on my social medias, and to see if, that is a better, I think it's a better ask of my, clients than just asking for loyalty, which is.
Yeah. That's so I think that giving your clients the option is the best thing to do. If they can continue to pay in full to support their local business, their local gym, then obviously like that's an option. And in like exchange for that, you could do something. You could give them like online classes. You could do one-on-one stuff like virtually. I mean, you could come up with a creative way to make them feel like they're still getting value for that money spent month to month, or you could just leave it at like they're just supporting their local small business because they can, and this is a way they can contribute right now. And then for the people that's not an option for, obviously you would let them out of their month to month without penalty, which is great and really nice of you. And I think to get creative with a different solution, like you were just saying, like a lower payment, that would be great too. And you could offer something with that, like virtual group training. Like there's no reason you guys couldn't all be rolling in your living rooms doing these exercises that you posted the other day, just in a Zoom call like this, Obviously it's not the same experience, but I think a lot of sport activities are centered around community. And so still bringing that community together and still letting them know, like, yeah, we're still here for you. Here's what we're offering. Like, here are the options available. Here's how you can support us. Here's how we're supporting you. Like, what else can we do together as a community? And I think the podcast I had earlier today was just, she was talking a lot about like focusing on the love and the community aspect of things, and, checking on your people and checking in. So for you, that would be, of course, like your other coaches at the gym and checking in with yourself, but then next checking in with your clientele and making sure that they're being supported. And if you're offering the stuff on Instagram, which I think is great, but that could maybe be for someone like me who's like being introduced to it now because I have a little more time at home or trying to get more creative with my own workouts. But yeah, you could bring your community on virtually and just see what that looks like. And then they may not like it. I don't know. I think a large part of this is like experimenting immediately without making things look pretty, and then seeing how your audience responds, and like going back to what we were talking about earlier, remembering that they have built this relationship with you and jiu-jitsu, and they're committed to not losing that right now, whether it's continuing to support you financially or coming together as a community or practicing on their own, or all three.
Gotcha. All right.
So I think that would be good. And something fun. Who knows? People are just having to get creative.
Yeah. I just know that me personally, I've had a lot of opportunity to like dial into somebody else's free online class, and I've chosen not to because it sounded like a lame idea to me, but maybe my people won't.
Yeah, but did you pay those people before?
No. But like, it's all like, high level people in my field. So people that, have expertise, but then at the end of the day, it'll just be me doing solo drills in my living room, which to me sounds like not that exciting. Yeah. I guess I'm not everybody. Everybody isn't me. So I should be doing more of that and see if that gets some positive results and keeps my morale up with my students.
Yeah, I think you have some good options there. So how can people learn more about you and your business? Where can they find out more?
www.livingartbrazilianjiujitsu.com. If you search jiu-jitsu in Willowbrook, I should be the first hit. I have an Instagram page, Living Art Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think it's just called Living R BJJ. We have a Facebook, Living Art Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Happy to see all of you as soon as it's safe. So.
Yeah, as soon as it's safe. And before then, online, we can do this together at home. So thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me, and good luck to you.
Thank you. You too.